Hi everybody. Have you ever wondered what will happen after death? Kim believed that he was going to get rid of problems. However, the hero had to undergo serious tests to get the right to be reborn on Earth again. Kim Jahan works as a firefighter. He saves a little girl from a deadly fire in a skyscraper. The way down the stairs is blocked by burning beams, and the hero has only one way out: to jump out of the window on insurance. A firefighter hangs on a rope high above the ground and tries to hand the child over to his partner, but a small spark of fire deprives the last opportunity for salvation. Kim, along with the girl in her arms, flies down and crashes into the asphalt. Life at this moment flashes before his eyes, opening which he realizes that he is still alive. The firefighter goes to the rescued girl to find out her name, but instead of answering, he hears someone persistently calling his name. Turning to the call, the hero sees a man and a girl in black standing fearlessly under the flying debris from above. Strangers are coming to him. The girl, beaming with a smile, informs that Jo Hong died on April 28, 2017, exactly on schedule. Strangers call him the Spirit, and they call themselves the Guardians of the Afterlife, Heaven, Mak, and Dakshin. It's hard not to believe them, because at the same time Jo Hong watches from the side as his partners try to pump out his dead body. The firefighter realizes what has happened and backs away in fright. He does not want to leave the world of the living and leave his mother, but the hero is already being dragged by the portal that is opened behind him. 3 guards lead Kim to the gates of the underworld. Hyun Mak and Dog Chun joined their boss Gon Rim. The crowd stretching for many kilometers makes way and lets the hero go ahead because he is called by the mysterious word Paragon. The burning fiery inscription above the gate confirms the status of his noble soul. Jo Hoon has a privilege. He can be reborn on Earth very quickly in 49 days. Together with 3 guards, he passes through the gate and enters Hell. Here his soul is waiting for 7 sessions of the court for betrayal, harm, irreverence, murder, idleness, slander, and dishonor. At the first trial, Jahan is accused of murder. The hero appears before the judge and accusers, and hell opens under his feet, from where the martyr cries of the guilty can be heard. He's about to be among them. Jahan left his partner in the fire and he died. For the accusers, this is a direct proof of guilt, but Gon Rim reveals to the judge the truth about why the firefighter actually did it. His partner was crushed, and there were still living people in the building who could be saved. Jahan intended to return for his friend, but did not have time to do so. As soon as he pulled 8 people out of the fire, an explosion occurred. The mirror of karma shows that this is the pure truth. The god of murders gives the defendant an acquittal verdict. The Paragon and the defenders cross the river of idleness to the next court session. Dog Chun looks through the defendant's idle sins in advance and found out that there is nothing to accuse him with. His life was hard, and remembering it, the Paragon does not want to be reborn at all, and he does not understand why the guards want it more than he does. It turns out that this is the promise of Yukimura, the king of the underworld. If the Guardians help 49 souls to be reborn in a century, then they themselves will get such an opportunity. Kim Jahan is the 48th on their account. At the trial of the goddess of idleness, the truth of the Paragon's hard life is revealed. At times, of course, he behaved absurdly, but it helped to endure daily hardships. Jo Hong worked as a firefighter, delivered vegetables, washed sauna floors, worked as a waiter and taxi driver to earn money for his mother's treatment and for his younger brother's legal education. For the first time, he breathed freely only after death. The mirror of karma shows again that this is the pure truth. The goddess of idleness gives the defendant an acquittal verdict. Through the forest of blades, the Paragon and the defenders go to the court of slander. Here you will have to answer for all the lies told in life. Dog Chun warns Kim that you can't touch anything in the forest. In the dream of a loved one and say goodbye forever. The hero wants to say goodbye to his mother, so he is ready to obey the instructions. Travelers overcome part of the road by boat, moving along a chute with water. Here the first troubles appear. Time in the afterlife is accelerating, and the guards may not have time to take the Paragon through 7 ships in 49 days. In addition, the boat is being chased by ghouls, infernal monsters who want to kill them. The reason for this is a vengeful spirit from the world of the living. One of Johan's relatives died embittered and stayed on Earth to take revenge, and Kim worries that it was his mother. To restore the passage of time in the afterlife, Gon Rim goes to Earth to look for a vengeful spirit in the world of the living. He visits Kim's house and finds out that his younger brother Suong has died. To destroy the vengeful spirit, you need to find and burn his body. Knowing this, Suong disobeys and hides from the pursuer. Gon Rim has one thing left to do: to find out for himself where the grave is. He goes to the military unit where Suong served and where there are rumors that the guy deserted. In the hell of slander, meanwhile, the trial begins. Jahan is accused of writing a letter to the daughter of the deceased firefighter on his behalf and promising that he would return. The matter is complicated by the fact that Jahan wrote not 1 letter, but 98. When the prosecutor voices this, even the defender Evan Mack loses faith in the justification, so he turns to the chief for help. Gon Rim gets in touch with the court session through Dog Chun and declares that Jahan is undoubtedly a liar, and he lied not only about the poor girl but also led his own mother by the nose for 15 years. If you do this out of curiosity, razor-sharp blades will cut it into pieces, but if you comply with the requirements, the soul will have the right to appear. He wrote letters to her about life, his wife and son, which he did not really have, but the letters helped her mother cope with a serious illness and calm her heart. As for the girl, undoubtedly because of the expectations and hopes presented by letters, the feeling of loss of a loved one increased, but thanks to this she grew up in the world of people very much strong. The mirror of karma shows that this is the pure truth. The goddess of slander gives the defendant an acquittal verdict. Paragon and the defenders go to the next meeting. The guards ask him, why was he so eager for his mother? Joan says that he did not have time to give a gift to an electric rice cooker. As a child, his mother cooked rice for him and his brother in an old tin pan, and now she is old and has already burned many pots. Joan does not finish, but the guards already know that there is another letter hidden in the rice cooker for his mother, in which there is no lie about his life. Gon Rim is getting in touch. He says that Joan's mother and brother are alive, and the guards are being told the truth. Suong is dead and has turned into a vengeful spirit that he is going to find and destroy. The investigation led Gon Rim to the night when Suong was on guard with Private Dunyan. The Guardian goes back in time to see what happened to Suong. He and his partner are standing guard. The guy sympathizes with a friend, but does not know what to say to someone who has just lost his brother, so he stands aside and nervously pulls the fuse of the machine. Suong convinces him that everything is fine and comes to hug him, and when he pulls away, the machine gun removed from the fuses rests against his stomach. Confused, Danayon wants to put the weapon away, but instead accidentally pulls the trigger. Paragon and the defenders are wandering in an icy gorge. This road leads to a trial for dishonor, a procedure for those who have committed unrighteous deeds that the noble soul of the threshold is not capable of, so Joan will not be judged there. The travelers are talking calmly when the gorge behind begins to collapse. They jump into the funicular before the ice avalanche collapses. The lieutenant appears at the scene. He fails to resuscitate Suong, and then he picks up the spent cartridge case from the floor and puts it in his pocket and orders the spy to wash off the blood. The officer is promoted next month, so he decides to bury the body and hide the traces of the crime. He just doesn't notice that Suong is still alive. The lieutenants and Danian drag the body into the woods and dig a grave. The guy does not want to commit crimes and throws a shovel, but the lieutenant forces him to finish the job. The Paragon and the defenders ride in a funicular by cable car. Jahan remembers that his brother dreamed about it as a child. Dog-chan says he envies him. Ordinary guards do not remember their past lives and do not know how they died. Havenmak is angry that the girl opened up so much. In response, he tells Jahan that his brother will never even get on this cable car in hell because he is a vengeful spirit. The afterlife is shaking because of him, but Gon Rim will stop it, find him, and destroy him. At this moment, the cab of the funicular breaks off the loop and turns over. The guards are hanging over the abyss in danger, and Kim rescues them with a rope from the fire equipment. Now he is in a different mood, since his brother is dead and his mother is left alone. He must pass the test to be reborn. The lieutenant writes out to the accomplice an ordinary discharge and gives money. Su-Hong's vengeful spirit is circling in the military unit at this time, and Gon Rim is following in his footsteps. The Paragon and the guards walk across the sky bridge. This road leads to Hell Betrayal. Souls who have betrayed the faith are judged there, but since Zhou Hong was a righteous man during his lifetime, he freely passes through these lands. Gon Rim finds a vengeful spirit in a nightclub when he tries to bring down a disco ball on his killer. Su-Hong hides through space, time, and portals, but the experienced fighter Gon Rim catches him in a trap. The Guardian calls on Su-Hong to stop the useless evil and revenge that destroy the two worlds. Then Gon Rim will protect him and Su-Hong will be able to be reborn. Gon Rim calls to remember the deceased elder brother, who is in danger because of him. These words don't work. Su-Hong doesn't care about his brother, who hasn't been home for 15 years, and he himself was buried alive. He was suffocating and dying in the grave, calling for help, but no one came. On that day, his trust in this world was buried with him, and revenge cannot be stopped. The rage raging inside him rolls through the city, plunging the metropolis into darkness. After getting drunk on leave, Don Ian decides that he will not hide the crime. First he comes to the lieutenant and says that he will tell everything, and then he comes to the house of Su-Hong's mother and throws a map with a mark in the place where her son's grave is located. The Paragon and the guards approach the Void Gap. This is the possession of the God of Harm. The punishment here directly depends on the severity of the crime. Heaven Mac pushes Jahan and he flies into the abyss to get. This is the only way to get to the court session. Private Don Ian is desperate to hang himself. He puts a noose around his neck and pushes off from the railing, but Gon Rim sees it. The surveillance of Don Ian justifies expectations. Su-Hong also appears. He asks the Guardian to save the guy, then he will stop taking revenge and go to the afterlife. It is forbidden for the Guardian to interfere in the events of the world of the living, but he is kind and saves Dunong from death by breaking the rules. Because of this interference, the balance in the afterlife is again disturbed, just at the moment when the Paragon and the guards are flying between the blocks of stones hanging in the air, which can now flatten them. The shaking stops and Heaven Mac is going to pass the trial by the side, but Dog Chun tells him that there is a victim at this trial. Kim is accused of brutally beating his younger brother. He stands before the court, and the stone figures remind of the past. At that time, his brother was suffering from malnutrition, and prosecutors consider the crime particularly heinous. The hero recalls that day he beat his brother. His alcoholic mother slept on the floor in the room. After that night, they didn't talk anymore because Jahan ran away in the morning. Since the criminal has not received forgiveness from the victim, the judge declares him guilty and prepares to send him to hell. Haven Mac turns to Gon Rim for help. He is just with Su-Hong at the grave and orders to request a general court. Two brothers see each other. This time, if the defendant is found guilty, he will receive a double punishment, and his defenders will be deprived of privileges in the afterlife. Paragon and the defenders enter the endless desert. On its territory, the hell of the sons of non-respect begins. It is there that Jahan will have to go through the general court of the king of the afterlife. Meanwhile, Gon Rim accompanies Su-Hong on the road to the afterlife. It is necessary to restore the body and visit the places where he lived 3 times. Su-Hong tells the Guardian about the night his brother beat him. This happened because he woke up and saw Kim hovering with a pillow over his mother's head. He wanted to strangle her, the same thing Heaven Mag and Dog Chun discuss with Kim himself. Paragon says that he wanted to kill not only his mother, but his brother and himself too. The mother is sick, they are poor, there was no hope for anything good in life, but instead of doing what he planned, Zhou Hong ran away. I started working and sending home the money I earned, and when I was bored, I wrote letters. Johan and Suhong's mother goes to the gate of the military unit every day. There is a poster on it asking for help to find her son. The servicemen usually drove her away, but this time the inconsolable mother manages to get into the base. She is met by a lieutenant. He rudely and ruthlessly treats the woman, and after she shows the lieutenant a marked map and throws it at all so that she loses consciousness. Suhong sees it from the outside. He cannot calm his anger and the vengeful spirit takes over again. By the power of infinite anger, he raises a hurricane in the military unit, which whirls together the afterlife and the world of the living. Haven throws Maka to the ground, and only Dog Chun remains with Kim, who is unable to pull him out of the sand trap. Her cry of despair sweeps through the worlds and reaches Suhong. That stops him. The storm calms down, and a meeting begins in the hell of the sons of non-respect. The judge is the king of the afterlife Yumra. He intends to immediately pass a guilty verdict and does not give the right to a defense. Dog Chun in tears contradicts the judge and reconsiders the case. The judge raises the mirror of karma. It shows a terrible truth: the mother was not asleep at the moment when Kim was going to kill her. The Paragon is ready to accept punishment and asks only one thing: to see his mother and apologize. The king of the afterlife does not give this opportunity because Johano had enough time during his lifetime for 15 years. The verdict is read out to the accused, and Gon Rim at this time sends his younger brother to his mother's dreams. Suhong appears in front of her in uniform and tells her that he was hired by the heavenly court, so he will not be able to come anymore. Then he reminds me of the day when Kim tried to kill her, but couldn't, ran away, worked like hell and sent money. The mother in response to this says what she kept in herself for many years. She does not blame her sons, but recognizes herself as bad and asks for forgiveness. This changes the course of things. The king of the underworld Yumra announces that the one who was forgiven in the world of the living in the afterlife is not subject to punishment. The court finds Johan innocent on all counts and orders him to be reborn immediately. The rebirth of the Guardians themselves is also close, because there is a soul on the threshold of hell. Paragon Suhong, with whom Gon Rim is going to appear immediately at the court of the Sons of the Hell of Reverence. The last letter of Zokanka, along with an electric rice cooker, is passed to the mother. He tells the truth in it, and it brings an elderly woman peace of mind for the rest of her days. As always, you will find the title of the film in the description of the video, but for now write in the comments. Do you think the decision of the King of the Underworld is fair? Don't forget to subscribe so that cool retellings come out as often as possible.